Good morning to all of you. Today I am going to discuss about the theta mode of replication as well as the rolling circle mode of replication. Now this type of replication normally is adapted by the prokaryotic organisms to replicate their genetic material. As we know that most of the prokaryotic genome are circular. Now this theta structure, it is an intermediate structure. That means it is found at the within the time of replication, that is formed during replication of circular DNA molecule, which is your prokaryotic DNA. And in this process, two replication forks will be observed, and that two replication forks will proceed independently in opposite directions around the DNA ring. And when viewed from above, if you see from above, the two replication forks that are formed, they are going in opposite their directions done by the helicase enzyme. The structures will looks like the Greek letter theta. Okay, that's why the name theta mode of replication comes. Now here the circular DNA has only one origin of replication. Unlike in eukaryotes, there are multiple origins of replication because the DNA is enormous in eukaryotic cell. Okay, the theta mode of replication was first determined by your scientist known as John Cairns, Cairns, in 1963 by the help of autoradiography visualization in E. coli. Autoradiography is a technique where we carry out the X-ray film photographic plate, okay, and we look into it, the bands, the spots that is observed in that photographic plate. The two complementary strands, the two complementary strands of the parental DNA, they separate at the origin of replication. Obviously, from at within the origin of replication, the two complementary strands in that parental DNA, they are getting separated by the action of DNA A that we know, and also further by the DNA B helicase and DNA C, the helicase loader. So by the action of helicase enzyme and DNA A, it separates the two complementary strands of the parental DNA at the site of origin of replication, which literally unzip means it opens the strands by breaking those hydrogen bonds that is formed between the that are formed between the complementary strand. So at the point of origin of replication, the DNA is getting separated by the action of first by DNA A enzyme and then by the helicase enzyme known as DNA B, and DNA C is your helicase loader, which helps to assemble the helicase in that site, and they unzip the strand by breaking those hydrogen bonds. DNA polymerase enzyme then come into action and starts process the replication in 5 prime to 3 prime direction. Next, the DNA polymerase enzyme then comes into action. DNA polymerase 3, if you see, the DNA polymerase 3 enzyme mainly plays the catalysis of the replication process. It starts the process of replication in 5 prime to 3 prime direction. Now once the replication is done, ligase enzyme then, with the help of building a phosphodiester bridge between the two strands, is done by the ligase enzyme, and the two daughter strands are being formed. Now during breaking of the strands by the helicase enzyme, the circular DNA forms the Greek symbol theta like structure, and hence we get that name. So when the helicase enzyme is breaking those bonds during the intermediate phase of your replication process, between the replication process, you will see it looks like resemble like a Greek symbol theta like structure. Now in circular chromosomes, the daughter chromosomes remain interlocked and are called as catenans. Catenanes. So what is catenan? What are catenans? Catenans are the compounds in which two or more ring-like structure, here the two newly formed daughter DNA molecules, are mechanically interlocked. Okay, means that at least a chemical bond has to be broken to separate those component rings, and this work is done by the topoisomerase enzyme, as we have seen when we are studying about the enzymes that are needed for replication process in prokaryotes. We see that topoisomerase enzyme can do this job by breaking the bond between the strand to overcome the action of supercoiling, and also when catenation has been done, where the daughter chromosomes remains interlocked, they has to be separated between the distributed between the daughter cells, and so topoisomerase 2 enzyme resolves this problem, solve this problem by breaking the bond in the DNA so as to separate the two strands. And after separation of the two strands, the same topoisomerase enzyme reseals that nick, reseals that cut portion, and hence the two daughter chromosomes which were interlocked once now become separated and equally distributed among the daughter cells. So now let us see the structure of the drawing, the diagram of theta mode of replication. If more marks comes, you have to draw this diagram. So this is the origin of replication. You can see a double stranded DNA which has to be unwinded at this portion, at this origin of replication. Next we can see the newly synthesized strand as given in red is being formed, and these are the replication forks which are getting formed, separated by the helicase enzyme, producing single stranded templates for the synthesis of new DNA. A replication bubble is formed, usually have replication fork at both ends. Now in the next diagram you can see the main, it looks like a Greek letter theta, just like this. Okay, so here what we can see many things, even events are occurring at both sides of the DNA, as DNA is circular in prokaryotes. Here we can see the two replication forks here, sorry, we can see the two replication forks here, and what we can also see the leading strand and the lagging strand in both directions. So here you can see the lagging strand in this portion, and the leading strand is shown here. Okay, okay, so in both directions we can observe the leading strand and lagging strand. The lagging strand is moving away from the replication fork. If this is the replication fork, lagging strand is moving away from the replication fork, while leading strand is moving towards the replication fork in this direction. Okay, same as the here also, here the lagging strand is removing away from the replication fork. If you see, if this is the replication fork, lagging strand is moving in opposite direction, while the leading strand is moving towards the replication fork. If you see, this is the replication fork, and that's why in lagging strand we see Okazaki fragments here, okay, which will be laterally be joined by the action of polymerase 1 enzyme and DNA ligase. Now in eukaryotes also this type of things occur, but not theta mode of replication. These Okazaki fragments will occur, but they are getting actually joined by a different enzyme which resembles like polymer, which is actually resembles like polymerase 1. Okay, then you can see the fork is proceeding and this type of thing occurs. So here we can see this thing has been occurred. These are actually the interlocking of circular DNA molecules, okay, having one parental strand shown in black and one newly synthesized strand shown in red. So these two daughter strands are now becoming interlocked now, which has to be overcome by the action of topoisomerase enzyme. So topoisomerase enzyme will catalyze these double stranded DNA breaks, which is known as decatenation. And decatenation means unlinking the components of a ring structure. Here the circular DNA has to be unlinked, and this process done by topoisomerase 2 with the help of specific reaction. It requires ATP for separating those interlocked DNA strands found at the end of the replication, and thus you can see two circular DNA molecules are being produced and they are getting separated. So this is the main image refers to the theta mode of replication. Let us see the rolling circle mode of replication. What does it says? The rolling circle replication describes the process of unidirectional DNA replication. Rolling circle model is little bit different. It also occur in circular DNA, but here in rolling circle replication occurs in unidirection, means only in one direction, not in both direction. That can rapidly synthesize multiple copies of circular molecules of DNA like plasmids, like genomes of bacteriophage and circular RNA genomes of viroids. So as the circular DNA molecules which are found in prokaryotes like in plasmids are what they are extracellular double stranded circular DNA molecules which are capable of independent replication. That means they are found outside the genome and they are extracellular and they are small double stranded circular DNA molecules which are capable of independent replication. So, and these plasmids are very useful in recombinant DNA experiments as well, you will see later on. So these plasmids carry some essential genes and which are needed for the bacterial cells, having some additional characteristics like disease resistance. Okay, so these plasmids can able to go through this rolling circle mode of replication. Okay, then the genomes of bacteriophage also carries out the replication in this process, rolling circle replication, and circular RNA genomes of viroids. Viroids are the small infectious pathogens which also go through this rolling circle replication method. Rolling circle DNA replication is initiated by an initiator protein. So there must be a initiator protein which will initiate the rolling circle replication, like for example, sorry, the initiator protein, in rolling circle replication is done by REP protein. REP protein is the initiator protein in case of plasmid. Similarly, same type of REP protein is found in the bacteriophage DNA, right? Now, this protein, which is known as RAP protein, they bind to certain site in the DNA, in the circular DNA. Okay, this protein called initiator protein bind to the site in the DNA called double stranded origin, which is known as DSO. And the REP protein, the initiator protein that I am talking about, which initiates the rolling circle mode of replication, it binds to the double stranded origin. Okay, and then with the help of its tyrosine residue, with the help of its tyrosine active site residue, this REP protein hold on to the phosphate group at the DNA backbone at the 5' end of the next strand, and then the same tyrosine residue with the help of active site, then it causes a nick, it causes a cut on one of the strand of double circular double stranded circular DNA. Again I am repeating. So REP protein is the initiator protein which binds to a certain site in the DNA, circular DNA, called double stranded origin. So in that double stranded origin it cut, and then it cause a nick. Nick means cut on one of the strands of double circular DNA. This RAP protein, as it is written here, this RAP protein, with the help of its tyrosine active site residue. So it is a protein, it is made up of amino acids. So within its active site there is a tyrosine amino acid residue. With the help of its tyrosine amino acid residue, it holds on to the phosphate group of the DNA backbone. At the 5' end of the nick strand, it hold and conserve that energy. Okay, tyrosine have an OH group at its side chain and can hold on to the phosphate at the 5' end of the DNA. So this initiator protein, with the help of its tyrosine active site, after cutting, after turning a nick, it holds on to the DNA with the help of its tyrosine active site. The initiator protein remains bound to the 5' phosphate end. The same thing has been repeated here of the nick strand. In Bengali you can say যে স্ট্র্যান্ডে এই ইনিশিয়েটর প্রোটিন কাট করছে সেই স্ট্র্যান্ডের 5' এন্ডে বাইন্ড করে থাকে কি করে, with the help of its tyrosine residue of its active site, and the free OH and the free 3' OH end is released to serve as a primer for the DNA synthesis by the DNA polymerase 3. So the 5' end of the cut strand is bounded by the REP protein in case of plasmid, or you can say initiator protein. What about the 3' end? The 3' end is free. The 3' OH end is free. It will be released. That 3' end will be released and will be serve as a primer for the DNA synthesis done by DNA polymerase 3. Using the unnicked strand as a template, the replication proceeds around the circular DNA molecule. So with the help of that 3' OH end as a primer, using that unnicked strands as a template, the replication will proceed. It will move on, going on around the circular DNA molecule and displacing the nick strand as single strand DNA, just like a reel, just like a in old days we use a film, okay, cassette, cut on one end and it is getting displaced in one direction. Okay, the next strand is getting displaced in one direction while the new strand is getting synthesized on the other direction. So using the unnicked strand as a template, replication proceeds around the circular DNA molecule and thereby displacing the nicked strand as single stranded DNA. Okay, so the nick strand or the unnicked strand will be used as a template. The unnicked strand, unnicked means those that strand which has not been cleaved by your this initiator protein, that unnicked strand will be released. It with the help of this unnicked strand as a template, DNA molecules is going to be will be prepared from it. Complementary DNA will be going to be done, catalyzed by DNA polymerase 3. And on the other hand, displacement means removal of the nick strand will be carried out, and it is done by some sort of helicase enzyme, and the name of that helicase enzyme here is PCRA, which carries out its function in presence of plasmid replication initiator protein. So on one hand, if this is the double stranded DNA, circular DNA, at one side nick has been done, okay, one of the strand nick has been done, suppose on this side, and after nicking what happened? After nicking you can see this thing occur, okay, so this thing occur. So at 5' end there is a phosphate group, at the 3 prime end. Okay, you can see, you cannot see this. So this is a circular DNA molecule. Suppose this is the double stranded origin. Okay, this is the double stranded origin. Now at this site the REP protein or the initiator protein, often we write as INR, cut at that site in one of the strand. And how it will look like? It will look like this. Now it will look like this, and it will have this 5 prime and 3 prime OH group. The 3 prime OH group is free, while the 5 prime end has the phosphate group attached by the initiator protein, INR protein. Now what will happen in the next step? The unnicked strand, which with the strand which has not been nicked, okay, as a template, replication will begin. So the unnicked strand will be used as a template. So this is the unnicked strand, this inner one is the unnicked strand. Okay, this is the unnicked strand. It will be used as a template, and replication will proceeds the circular DNA molecule and displacing the nicked strand. So this strand is the nicked strand. This strand will getting displaced just like this. Okay, I'm trying to draw. So the nicked strand, which has that 5 prime phosphate group and 3 prime OH group, has been displaced, it has been removed, while the unnicked strand, this strand is not nicked, this strand not nicked, it will be used as a template for synthesis of DNA molecules. Sorry for that, it will be yes, it will be in the opposite direction, from 5 prime to 3 prime direction it will be. Okay, and this strand will goes on displacing, and on here this strand will be used as a template for synthesis of new strand. Understood? Now displacement is done by a helicase protein called enzyme called PCRA, which carries out its function in presence of plasmid replication initiator protein. Now continued DNA synthesis produce multiple single-stranded linear copies of the original DNA into in a continuous head to tail series called concatemer. So in this way what happened? Continuing repeatedly DNA synthesis is being occurring. On one hand the unnicked strand is getting to be displaced, and the unnicked strand will be used as a template for the synthesis of more and more DNA, for synthesis of complementary DNA to make new daughter DNA molecule. So due to continued DNA synthesis, it produces multiple single stranded linear copies of original DNA in a continuous head to tail series called concatemer. So in this way it occurs. So you can see multiple strands has been nicked, multiple strands has been formed. Now suppose this is the, so in this way this thing occurs. Okay, and you can see multiple linear DNA is formed having the double stranded origin, that is called as concatemer. So this linear DNA is being formed known as the concatemer, multiple having multiple origins of replication. Okay, concatemer is a long continuous DNA molecule that contains multiple, means many copies of the same DNA sequence linked in series. Now these linear copies of single stranded DNA can be converted into double stranded DNA in the following way. So we get a multiple linear copies of that single stranded DNA. So here is the figure. If you don't see the figure, you cannot able to observe it. Okay, I have to some sort of problem occur. You have to straight down your phone and see the bottom figure, this one. I am marking it, okay. This figure, from this here to here, you have to see, okay. So you can see a single stranded nick occurs. These are double stranded circular DNA, you can see here a single stranded nick occurs. So here we can see a nick has been created, and then you can see they have not used the different color, same color has been used. So synthesis will continue in a 5 prime to 3 prime direction. You can see the direction of the synthesis has been done. On the other hand, the nick strand is getting to be displaced like this, okay. Discontinuous synthesis is now also being occurs in the tail. Next, look at this figure now. So what happened then after that? When the tail is complete, it can be removed by nucleus enzyme. So you can see now in this way repeated synthesis, multiple synthesis can occur, and leads to the formation of concatemer, where concatemer is a long continuous DNA molecule that contain multiple copies of the same DNA sequence linked in series. And then finally that linear DNA will be further be again be converted into circular DNA by different ways. Some ways has been mentioned here. One of the way has been mentioned here. Let us see that way. First, the initiator protein, in case of plasmid it is rep protein, rep protein, makes another nick in the DNA to terminate the synthesis of the first strand, which is the leading strand. So first what we do, the initiator protein makes another nick in the DNA to terminate the synthesis of the first strand. So the first strand is again nicked in a leading strand. The initiator protein called the rep protein, REP protein, also receives the nick of the nick strand to make it a single stranded circular DNA. So in this way, the initiator protein first makes previous nick before initiation, and also now it again make another nick in the DNA to terminate the synthesis of the first strand. RAP protein also receives the nick of the nick strand to make it a single stranded circular DNA. Now this covalently closed circular DNA further sequentially be converted into double stranded circular DNA by the synthesis of an RNA primer. So an RNA primer will be then placed at the single stranded origin by RNA polymerase enzyme. Then it is followed by DNA polymerase 3, DNA polymerase 1, and like this. So simple thing, the initiator protein makes another nick, thus we remove the total fully strand. That strand is now becoming a single stranded circular DNA. That single stranded circular DNA, the sites will be used by the RNA primase to create a primer, and at the single stranded origin, within the single stranded origin they creates a primer, and then it is followed by DNA synthesis by polymerase 3 and polymerase 1. Finally, polymerase 1 removes the primer, replacing with DNA, and finally DNA ligase join the ends to make another molecule of double stranded circular DNA. Okay, now this type of replication is being done by the plasmids, by bacteriophages, by the RNA containing virions. Okay, rolling circle model is an ideal marker also, ideal model also for DNA replication during the transfer of genetic material from one cell to another cell during bacterial conjugation. Now this type of thing you often see in your microbiology class when you will study about this concept called conjugation. When you study about this conjugation concept, you will see that how the genetic material is being transferred from one bacterial cell to another bacterial cell by this rolling circle model of replication. Okay, now how do the bacterial cell contact? With the help of pilus. Pilus is a hair like appendage like structure which joins, especially the sex pilus is involved actually, which helps to form that conjugation tube, with the help of which the linear DNA is transferred from the donor cell to the recipient cell. Okay, so this was the rolling circle model of replication. I have forgotten to rotate the image here. Okay, try to rotate the image in this angle, then it will be clear for you. Now I think you have, oh, it has been becoming opposite direction now. So you can see here that how, just turn your mobile in opposite direction. You can see the single stranded nick occurs. Then after nicking done by the REP protein, or the you can say initiator protein, then synthesis continues in 5' to 3' direction on circle displacing the 5' tail. This continuous DNA synthesis also being occurred in the tail. When the tail is complete, it can be removed by nuclease enzyme. Now multiple series of due to continuous DNA replication, multiple series of DNA of that DNA, genetic material is being formed, that linked by, that is called as concatemer. Okay, concatemer is the series of DNA of the same DNA sequence which has been repeated due to DNA replication, and thus this linear DNA can further be coiled. It can be further be coiled, becoming circular DNA by the help of initiator protein, by making one nick again in the DNA to make a single stranded DNA, and that's covalently close single stranded DNA can be further be converted into double strand DNA by the synthesis of an RNA primer, which has not been shown in the figure here. And I will give you an animation based on this, which will be helpful for you to understand. And then it is followed by replication done by DNA polymerase 3, and then by DNA polymerase 1 and ligase, they will seal that gap. So this was the thing. Okay, now the termination of replication of a circular chromosome of DNA in bacteria, in mitochondria and chloroplast present no major topological problems. There is a site called as TER site, also known as the terminator sites. These TER sites are the indications that at this site your DNA replication process will be finished, will be completed. So the region of termination on E. coli chromosome is terminus site, is 180 degree away from the REC. If REC is in this direction, the terminator site in will be in the opposite direction, 180 degree. Okay, there are 6 terminator sites, 3 arrest in the Y junction from the left and 3 arrest on one from the right when bound by termination protein. So within these terminator sites, there is a protein called TUS, terminus utilizing substance. Terminus utilization substance, they bind to this terminator site. Okay, and each terminator site is about 20 base pair long, and within this terminator site this TUS protein binds and carries out the termination process. One interesting aspect of this termination of E. coli in DNA replication is that cells are viable even if the whole terminator region is deleted. So one strange thing you can see that if you, by genetic engineering, if we can able to remove the terminator sites, then what will happen? Nothing will happen. There will be no, the cell will still remain viable. It still remain active even if we are able to remove the terminator sites. There are fewer viable cells and some growth problems, but in general, E. coli can successfully terminate DNA replication even with the formal termination sites. So, without termination sites, we can still can achieve your termination process in prokaryotes. Now, these terminator sites will be further be utilized by your TAS protein terminator utilizing substance, and also by DNA topoisomerase, which is here the topoisomerase 4. Then ready releases the two circles, and DNA polymerase 1 and ligase enzyme close them up. So here you can see the origin. Oh, sorry, this is not, this is the thing, figure 35.29. Okay, this is the image. So you can see here DNA replication at the Y junction, topoisomerase 4 then separate the circles. The single stranded gap will be further filled up by polymerase 1 and DNA ligase. Close that circle. Okay. So this was all about the your replication process in your rolling circle mode of replication and the theta mode of replication in your bacterial cell. I hope you have understood this part. In the next class, I will try to say about the eukaryotic replication process. Just we have to compare it, and we have to see. I will mainly focus on the lagging strand mainly. Okay, and then the leading strand is almost the same, but the names are different actually, and nothing else. And then try to compare them, and then we end up this replication part. So if you have any problems regarding this chapter, regarding this part, this lesson that I have taught just now, you can ask me in the WhatsApp group. I will try to answer it.